Namaste. Welcome to your one yoga pose a day practice. And we're going to do a thing today that's at the same time very easy and very challenging. We're going to do the mindful eagle. So we're going to start by settling into a comfortable standing pose. You can make it a Tadasana, a mountain pose if you'd like, but you absolutely don't have to. Take a breath in. Start putting your feet shoulder width apart. And we're going to spend a moment making sure that both the soles of our feet are touching the ground. We're going to trace the contours of our soles with our mind's eye. Feel the connection of the skin to the mat. Feel the weight of the heel bone pressing into the ground. We're going to spend a moment here trying to distribute all of our weight equally all over the sole with a focus on the heel. Just spend a moment there, settling here. And notice also that your body is slightly swaying all the time. You can lean slightly to the front or slightly to the back or side to side, but at all times, because you told it, you just stand here without falling over. It returns to the center. Now we're going to spend a moment stacking our legs over our feet. Just notice with your mind's eye your ankles and your calves. Imagine a center line in your body and try to see if one of your knees is more to the front or more to the back or more to the side, and gently pull it to where it's most symmetrical around your center line. Don't worry too much about being too symmetrical. This is a practice to notice how we are not always perfectly aligned, which is absolutely normal. Let's keep tracing our legs with our mind's eye and focus on the thighs and hips now. Again, imagine the center line of your body and try to stack your hips on top of your knees so that they're natural and comfortable there. Notice how engaged the muscles of your legs are. Stack your pelvis on top of your thighs. Again, try to see if one of your hips is pointing more to the front or to the back or to the side, and gently bring it to a more aligned position. Keep breathing throughout. There is nothing to do here except noticing how our body comes back to the center with each little tiny sway with each and every breath. Notice your stomach and stack it on top of the hips. You don't need to assume any kind of a given pose. Each one of us has a sense, an innate sense of what the balance means for us. So try to find a good stable position for your stomach on top of your pelvis. Notice that you're doing that and your core muscles are engaged as you're manipulating them into a comfortable position. Notice your chest. See if it's leaning forward or backward. Maybe slightly leaning to the side. Just try to bring it to a gentler position, a more balanced position. Whatever feels good for you. Doesn't need to be symmetrical. Symmetry is overrated. Notice your shoulders. And again, bring them back to a relatively aligned position if they're not in there. And you would notice that your whole body right now is engaged as you're caressing it with your mind's eye and are trying to maintain this absolutely stable, absolutely centered, absolutely focused posture. Let's pay attention to the neck. Keep it relatively straight and see if you can take a deep breath in and relax your neck and your shoulders a little bit. As you're relaxing, notice that your neck naturally aligns with the center of your body. Now stack your head on top of your neck and shoulders. See if your head is leaning anywhere to the side and bring it back to the center line. Keep breathing. Formal Tadasana requires you to stay in this pose with your palms turned toward the front. Give it a shot, see if it feels comfortable. But if it doesn't, just let your arms hang in any position that they feel good in. And now we're going to try to relax our face. The breath in. Try to form a gentle smile on your lips. Don't strain. And notice that as you're staring straight ahead, that your gaze becomes unfocused. It's a very interesting type of being unfocused. You're at the same time looking at the things in front of you and looking at the things that are going on inside your body. This somewhat unfocused gaze pays attention to both what's without and what's within. Yogis call it drishti, and this kind of a double pointed attention is going to help us immensely as we're getting into the eagle pose. Take another breath here. Feel your body centered. And now we're just going to stand on one foot. Just lift one foot slowly and notice as you're balancing on this other foot, your body leans, your body sways. And again, because you told it to stay on one foot, it always returns to the center. And this is a different center, right? It's not the same center that you had when you were standing on both feet. But it doesn't matter because a new position requires a new center. This is a good metaphor for life too. If your circumstances change, you're finding a new center every time. Let's switch feet and see how we are on the other foot. As you're standing on this other foot, Notice also that your body leans naturally slightly backwards. For a moment, focus your mind's eye on the center of mass and the sacral region of your spine and your lower back. Feel this as a center around which all of the motion of your body right now is organized. And now we're going to put both of our feet on the ground and start getting into the eagle. Find a good position for the foot that you're going to stand on. If that means shifting and shuffling over the mat right now, please do so. And now we're going to lift the opposite foot and wrap it around the supporting calf. Here, what you would want to do, you would want your knee to point forwards. You would want it to point to the sides, which is the natural way I'm sort of showing you right now, because this side position of your knee is going to provide you more balance. Pointing our knee to the front, we would want to make it slightly more challenging. But if you're just starting, feel free to point your knee to the side just to give you more base of support. So, however your knee is pointing, wherever it's pointing, first we're going to stay like that and notice that our body keeps returning itself to the center position. Even though it's challenging to stand on one foot, with another foot being in some pretty unnatural position. And then once you feel like you're not falling from here or that you're stable enough, we're going to add eagle arms. We're going to just wrap our forearms around one another, put the palms together, and stay like that, gazing either in front of us, or you would probably notice that your gaze naturally lowers and you're gazing at the floor or the grass in front of you at around a 45-degree angle. And this gaze is super unfocused because your attention is equally divided in between maintaining the posture and still noticing the things around you to give you a frame of reference, not to fall over, right? Keep breathing here until your leg starts getting tired. I'm going to take another couple of breaths. And let go of my arms. And come back on both of my feet. If your calves are sort of tense right now, you can bend your knees slightly and do some rolling motion, side to side, keeping your body relatively stationary to just let go of the tension in the calves. And we're going to do it on the other side again, slowly and deliberately. Stand on one foot, find the balance, and start wrapping your other foot around the supporting calf. Take a breath. Find a good stable position. It's okay if you're falling down. Just come back as many times as you need. And keeping noticing that our body returns itself to the center. We're going to slowly add eagle arms. And notice that this posture requires your utmost concentration. It's hard for me to talk right now because my whole body is working in overdrive to maintain the balance. And notice also that it's exceptionally hard to think in this pose just because of how much attention it requires. And that's the great thing about the eagle, because as you're getting into the eagle, I'm going to let it go and take a breath. As you're getting into the eagle and staying in the eagle, the thoughts will go away for a moment. If you have sticky thoughts and want to take a break, we're not trying to deny them or repress. We're just trying to take a break from those sticky thoughts to gain a fresh new perspective on them. Any balance pose, and the eagle especially because of how much you need to do with your feet and your arms. Well, those poses are invaluable just because they give you a well-deserved break from sticky thoughts, whatever they may be for you. And we're going to attempt the mindful eagle again, but now we're going to go into the pose and I'm going to ask you to think about something that is personally difficult or unpleasant for you. Don't grab any thought that is super traumatic, just something that you can handle. I'm gonna think about my kid's latest tantrum, which is unpleasant but not completely terrifying. So I'm gonna get into that mindful eagle again. And I'm gonna try and hold that thought along with maintaining the posture. Hold your own relatively unpleasant thought and see. See for yourself. It sort of disappears, right? And cannot stay. And it doesn't mean that it's going to go away. It's going to come back as thoughts do that are sticky. But because you're taking a conscious break from this thought, after you're done taking the break, you can come back and see whether or not you can have a different perspective on that same thought. I'm going to come out to the eagle. Again, if your calves are tired, you can either roll your knees or get on your tippy toes and this kind of rocky motion up and down several times. And take a breath. Thank you for doing the practice with me. Namaste.